I just want to put it out there and say right now, the Vikings play Kirk Cousins this weekend, and Kirk Cousins will finally return to US Bank Stadium, this time as an opposing team, or an opposing team member, actually. You know how I feel about him? We signed him in 2018. He was supposed to be the one missing piece of this team. I wasn't even 8 years old yet when we signed him, and I missed Case Keenum the moment we signed Kirk Cousins. I was excited. Don't get me wrong, I was excited when we signed Kirk Cousins, but when we signed him, I still felt that feeling that I missed Case Keenum on the Vikings. But I feel like he was just there for 2017, like a bridge quarterback, basically. But my point is, Kirk Cousins is a good stats guy. He'll get you the stats. He'll get you the numbers. He'll get you the good throws. The good plays. He's not a mobile quarterback though. But when he's in the pocket, he can most definitely throw dimes. He throw great passes to Justin Jefferson. But here's the problem: Kirk Cousins does not have that mentality to get you into the promised land. I'm sorry. I respect Kirk deeply as a guy and as a person. But I feel like as someone who aspires to become an NFL analyst, I feel like I have to say things for how they are. In the past years, Kirk Cousins has been a 500 guy. A guy who gets his team to 500. If Kirk Cousins is on your football team, expect to be 6-6, 4-4, 5-5. Just like even. Expect to be in the middle. He'll get you in the middle. He's not a bad quarterback, but he's not the guy that you need to get you into the Super Bowl. I just wish he had that dog mentality, that mentality where he's like, I can go out there and do anything. Like, I wish after losses, instead of explaining the entire route tree, just say, oh, I messed up, I screwed up, but don't worry, we'll be back next year. We'll be right back there. Kind of like J.J. McCarthy. We see that winning mentality in the quarterback we drafted, J.J. McCarthy. That quarterback we drafted, he has that winning mentality, but Kirk Cousins, I feel like he's a quarterback who had potential, but he's just too scared, too conservative. Make the aggressive throws and get the ball to your receiver. Get the ball to your best receiver. Look, he's an accurate passer. He's got the stats. But as far as consistency, beyond stats, consistency with playoffs, he has one playoff win in his entire career. He's got one playoff win, and his team, the Falcons, they can look good for 1 week, then look terrible the next. His first game as a Falcon, he got sacked, which showed how immobile he is. He took the snap. Well, it was like 10 seconds left, and T.J. Watt sacked him. T.J. Watt sacked him. Kirk couldn't get out of there. He's not a mobile quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. When he was a Viking, I supported him. I most definitely supported him. I defended him. But I feel like I have to say things for how they truly are now. He isn't a Super Bowl quarterback. He's an amazing person, an awesome guy, a guy that anyone as a person would love being around. He's a good quarterback. He's at least a decent quarterback. Okay, I'll give him that. But taking your team to the promised land, or being on the level of Patrick Mahomes, or let's even say Jalen Hurts, or like any of those quarterbacks. No, I'm sorry. He's not mobile. He's too conservative, and I'm sorry, but he makes these throws. Like, for example, if we had a mobile quarterback instead of Kirk Cousins on that 4th and 8 play against the Giants, we either go down fighting or we get the first down. Because Kirk was either getting sacked or throwing a check down. A quarterback should not be in that position. A quarterback has to be mobile. A quarterback has to know his pocket, and a quarterback has to know how to escape the pocket. A quarterback has to know how to analyze his progressions, and has to know how to get the ball to his playmakers, and how to be aggressive. Especially being aggressive. You have to be an aggressive quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Don't be dumb, but be aggressive. Cam Jordan, I'm not sure if he still plays, but he played for the Saints for a long time as a defensive edge rusher or defensive end. He's a guy that I don't like quoting too much. He said things that I don't agree with, and he played for the Saints. And the Vikings and the Saints don't have very good history together. But my point is, he said something about quarterbacks making either slow and correct decisions. So, like, let's say like a veteran quarterback. Let's say for example a rookie quarterback. He makes the fast decision, but the wrong decision. Or a veteran like Kirk Cousins who makes a slow decision but the wrong decision. Or excuse me, a slow decision but the right decision. I'd rather have a rookie who does the wrong thing but does it fast. He's got that fast mentality. So that way, all you have to do is correct him doing the right thing and form it into that. Because right now, you know how I feel? JJ McCarthy's the kind of guy who could make a fast decision, but a wrong decision. But the thing is, he won't let that affect him as opposed to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, as Cam Jordan said, and I don't like quoting Cam Jordan a lot, like I said, but Kirk Cousins is the kind of guy who will make the right decision, but a slow right decision. I want a quarterback who can make a fast decision, whether right or wrong, but can lift himself up. I want a quarterback who can lift himself up. Look, Kirk Cousins, I liked him as Kirk O'Chains. Kirk O'Chains and everything. He can keep the chains. JJ McCarthy can keep the rings, though. Kirk can keep the chains. JJ will get the rings. You know, that's what I like about JJ McCarthy. He's got the mentality, like he feels like he can do anything he puts his mind to. A great meditator and a guy who we saw in the preseason. We saw in this year's preseason when he took the snap and he threw a pick against the Raiders. What did he do? He didn't sit down and with his head down like Kirk usually would. No, he got back up, went back on the field, and threw 2 deep bombs, one to Trent Sherfield, one to Tristan Jackson. That is a quarterback with a mentality of winning. And Kirk needs to have that mentality if he ever wants to take any team that he's on to the promised land. Because right now, one playoff win in your career, I don't see you being in the conversation of any of those star quarterbacks right now. I'm sorry. But this is how I feel about the Vikings facing against Kirk Cousins this upcoming weekend. I like our chances, and all it takes is just rattle Kirk in the pocket. He's not escaping. He's not a mobile quarterback. We got Dallas Turner, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, and hopefully Ivan Pace Jr. gets better and feels more healthy in terms of injuries because he got banged up. But seriously, our defense is more than enough for Kirk Cousins. We're going to stop him on Sunday. Most definitely. I supported him when he was a Viking, but the decision he made to go to the Falcons for more money rather than try to win with the Vikings, I don't know about that, but I like it now. We're 10-2 with Sam Darnold in what was supposed to be a rebuild year. So right now, instead of being 10-2, I think we would have been like 6-5 or 5-6 with Kirk Cousins as our quarterback. With Kirk as our quarterback, yeah, I think we would have been 500 right now, right at 500. Not at a winning record though, because Kirk Cousins is the definition of 500, and I am sorry, but that is the truth. Because what are the Falcons right now? 6-5, 5-6, or 6-6, or whatever. That's in the middle. You want to either be a winning team, or you don't want to be a losing team. But you're either a winning team or a losing team. The worst spot to be in is in the middle. In the middle, you don't get to the playoffs. In the middle, you don't get the best draft picks. You're either a winning team or a losing team. But Kirk likes to stay at 500, right in the middle. He does. He does. So, with Sam Darnold, a mobile quarterback, by the way, not the most mobile, but enough to get you out of the pocket and keep plays alive. So if we like that right now, just wait until we get JJ McCarthy back. A healthy JJ McCarthy will absolutely blow this league up. His mobility, his mentality, his way for winning. He's a born winner, a natural winner. Kirk doesn't have that dog in him, and I'm sorry. It feels like instead of hyping his team up, his team has to hype him up and let him know that he's the leader. But no, that's not how it's going to be for JJ McCarthy as a Viking. He's a leader. But Kirk, his team needs to lead him. And against the Vikings, against a Brian Flores defense, that will not slide. That will not slide. So best of luck, Kirk. I highly respect you, but your play style as a quarterback, it needs some work. And I apologize for if I insulted you, but I'm just saying things for how it is. I'm saying things for how they are. Sometimes you have to report the tough things. And the tough thing for Falcons fans and Kirk supporters, because I know some Vikings fans that are Kirk supporters. The tough thing to hear is he's not a Super Bowl quarterback, and Justin Jefferson does not need Kirk to win. Skull Vikings, best of luck against the Falcons. This should be a pretty easy win. Skull Vikes. I will always be a Vikings fan over a Kirk Cousins fan. Skull.